Welcome everybody. Y'all ready for this? The Hustle. My name is Steve Aramopoulos, and these are my co-hosts. I'm Talia. And I'm Felicia. You may have heard me on radio, you may have never heard of me at all, but that's okay.
Cause y'all gon' learn today. Your whole life was a struggle, had to make it out the jungle. This is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle, under pressure never break a fold. Keep chasing your goals until you blow. Now, welcome to the hustle.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Hustle Podcast. And today we have a very special guest. We don't usually do this, but today we have our contest winner on the show.
Yes, so very
Give
grateful.
a big shout out to Felicia O'Day.
Thank you guys so much, and I really appreciate that I won the contest. I had a really good time at the UFC. I got to see one of my homies, Kyle. He got to step back in the cage for the UFC. It's just so great to support him, and the main event was wild also.
I was very happy to make a dream come true, send
Yeah.
somebody to the UFC. To be honest with you, the contest was never actually going to happen. Like, I bought extra tickets thinking I could resell them, thinking that UFC right now, it's the first time back in Montreal, 10
Yeah.
years. It did not go as planned. So I'm like, let me pass on these lovely tickets to somebody, and you won the contest. Funny enough, a lot of people don't know how I choose these contests. But I just scroll through all the comments, and then I land on somebody. And I happened to land on somebody that was an MMA fighter. And my style was perfect. It was fitting. It was fitting to give you that ticket.
No, and really made my dream come true. Honestly, that's been on my bucket list. I've always wanted to go see a live UFC. I also always want to go see like a Habs game. I haven't got that yet, but I just want to have that energy of the crowd, especially when you're in Montreal. You know, everybody gets loud and excited.
I was planning to do a Habs giveaway too, but it didn't work out that way.
I'm gonna
So
put my name in. Let me know.
maybe next year when they get back in the playoffs. You never know.
Yeah.
And just do me a favor, twist that microphone towards you. No, yeah, that's it. Right there. Perfect.
Okay.
You're good.
Excellent.
So Felicia, can you please tell the people a little bit about what you do and where you train out of and what your next fight's gonna be?
Well, I've been a very active martial artist for the last 10 years. I started boxing originally when I was 15, but then I left home. I did some traveling around the world. I went to Vancouver, Montreal. I'm from Northern Ontario. Then I got really serious about training again when I was about 23, 24. I started at TriStar. I stayed there for about 3 years. I did about 5 kickboxing Muay Thai fights. I started doing jiu-jitsu. I did a jiu-jitsu tournament. Then I went to Sambo MMA in Phoenix. I started doing, I had my first MMA fight, actually 7.5 months after giving birth. And then I got into boxing. So I was like, listen, if I want to get really serious about MMA, you really have to have good hands. You have to have good hands. You have good defense, good footwork. You have to be able to protect your brain. Also, it just looks very slick. And a really good punch can counter a really good kick. So you mix boxing, a little bit of Muay Thai, and some good grappling, you got an excellent MMA fighter. So my goal right now is to become a boxing champion, go back to a few amateur MMA fights, and then make my debut professional in the States.
Well, like with a nickname like Stalker, I would assume you can throw those hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I really like the name Stalker. I feel like it has a couple really good meanings. First of all, it's like about awareness, being able to see everything around you, being able to predict what your opponent's going to do, what you're going to do, because a big part of martial arts is seeing what someone's going to do before they do it. And also, I noticed that martial arts, it's like you're dancing with an opponent that's unchoreographed, and you're dancing a rhythm, and you need to break their rhythm and set your rhythm.
That's a great analogy of the way you just explained
Also,
it.
a stalker is an ambush predator, which I very much relate to. I like to lull my opponents into false sense of security, make it seem like I'm going backwards all the time, and then that's when I explode forward, go for the kill.
So how did you get into mixed martial arts?
Well, I've always been fighting all my life, except for I never fought a girl until I was 24. I grew up fighting men in the streets. I grew up in Windsor, Ontario, right beside Detroit. So, like, I got kicked out of school for fighting. I had to fight one of my best friends who started doing crack, and he got a little out of control, and he started threatening some women, and he threatened me. And all he had to do was verbally threaten me for me to break all his teeth. But the police said I did a good job, and I didn't get a charge. But I only finished school after I was 18. I did all my exams on my own just to have the GED. And honestly, since I was 18, I haven't really been in any street fights. Becoming a martial artist didn't make me violent. It made me more peaceful because you have a second option. You can end a fight with your verbs or your words and with peace and appealing to the kindness of a human being. But I have in my back pocket that I'm ready to kick your ass.
Is it
It's
true
true,
that
right?
if you like beat up somebody in the streets, somebody that doesn't have the skill set, and you like beat them really badly, is it like attempted murder? Like, because you're
Well, they're
using
gonna keep. It depends.
these weapons.
It's situation to situation. I never get in a fight unless I'm defending myself or defending someone else. I also make sure I don't get caught.
Look, if I would see you like in the street, like if we're at a bar right now and I'm there with my friends and we're all acting like hooligans, which is definitely not the case, but I would definitely wouldn't expect that you could break all my teeth. But you definitely can because I don't know how to fight.
No, but that's a really good advantage. Underestimating your opponent is the biggest mistake you can do. And but I make sure I don't put myself in those situations. I don't go to bars. I don't go out drinking. I go to the gym. I hang out with my child. I go home. Merci, bonsoir.
You have a mindset of what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. Yeah, you're not when you're working out and you have a path that you're following. You're not going out drinking on the weekends, and you got to maintain.
Yeah, I'm not allowed either. My coach gives me these very strict rules. uh, no drugs, no alcohol, no sex. You're in bed at midnight. But that's just the best way to keep you as focused as possible. You can't have distractions. That's the difference between winning or losing a fight is whether you're doing 100%. And if I do 100% and I lose, that's fine. I did 100%. But if I did 80%, and even if I won, I'm still gonna be disappointed in myself if I didn't
True.
put that 100% in.
100%. Speaking of that, no sex rule, is that a myth or does that actually work?
Well, the thing is, it's a hormonal thing. You ever notice that if you abstain, you have more physical energy? Also, you have a little bit of a hormonal buildup where you're a little bit more aggressive. You're on edge, and it's just like, "Arr." That's also the thing with like dieting and starving yourself a little bit. Like when I'm in there, I'm like, you were gonna pay for every ounce I had to lose. All I want is potatoes and steak and ice cream, and you were standing in the way for that.
It's like those greyhounds that they starve until
Yeah,
they
you
race
starve them
those.
just a little bit. I was like me. I start getting very aggressive when I'm hungry. I want my fucking ice cream. And you're standing in the way of it. After this, we're getting ice cream.
Let's bring it back to Windsor.
hmm
Tell me a little bit about early life in Windsor. What was that like?
Well, I had a lot of good friends, but just the society at large was like pretty disgusting. There is just filled with like pedophiles, gang members. It's a very violent and dangerous place. I've gotten fights with people's dads coming out of prison, protecting other people. Like I said, like I've never really been like personally assaulted except for just like one time. I came back from like New Year's Eve and someone else was drunk when I wasn't, and I tried to avoid that fight 3 different ways. And the woman even put her hands on me, and I don't really like to fight women, honestly. And then I still was like, no. And then she just open hand pimp slapped me as hard as she could, and she was like bigger than me, and like I looked really cute and normal. And I feel bad, but I kind of lost it. And I elbowed her like 30 times in the face. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna kill her. So I just brought her down to the floor and I started choking her and I was like, tap, tap. But like she doesn't know how to tap and she couldn't verbally tap because I was choking her. And then like one of my bystander friends is like, please stop. And I was like, "Juice." I snapped out of it. And then, but I made sure she was okay. I gave her iPhone back, her Fitbit. I gave her a hug and I was like, hey man, you really can't be like hitting people and for no reason. I was like, I'm a trained fighter. I do this every day for 3 hours a day. I was like, I'm like a pit bull. And it's like, I just snapped. But I felt really bad. I felt guilty. I was like, did I do something wrong? But I made sure she got on the bus. She was safe. I was like, please don't call the police. I have a child. And I was like, I really didn't want to have to do that. I avoided it as much as I could and I just could not.
Lesson learned. And at the end of the day, like you said, you don't go around putting your hands on people that you don't know.
Consent.
And she what's it called? She won't be doing that again in the future. That's definitely
Well,
for sure.
I hope she learned a lesson. I still feel bad about it because like you said, like because
You
I'm
possess a
trained
skill
like
set
that
yeah.
is like is just and also I'm a very peaceful person. Like
How is it when you get into tunnel vision? Like you're
I can't hear or see anything. Apparently there was a guy, funny enough, named Jesus. And he was trying to like grab me off her from behind and he was like he's like I wasn't able to. It was like I didn't exist and I was like I didn't even know that you were touching me. And it's like that in the fights too. Like I can't hear any of the audience. I don't see anybody. All I see is the lights. And I don't even really know what I do in my fight until like I watch it after. And it's just like that's called like being totally focused. That's the awareness.
it would have been epic if like right after you got off of her, you should have said, Jesus just saved your life.
I didn't even know he did until an hour later, but yeah, he did. And he's the one that made sure she got on the bus. Cause I was like, I didn't want to be there. I dipped. I was like, oh God. I was like, I'm right on Sherbrooke Street. I was like, I don't want to go to jail or prison or anything. And it's like I went to my friend's house and my knuckles were all bloody. She's like, "What the hell?" And I'm like, "Let me in. I need a shower."
The beat streets of Windsor, people. Well, so yeah, street fights in Windsor. But how did you get like into like when you how did you finally say, you know what, I got to take this a little more professionally, hit the gym, learn technique?
I wanted to have a more stable life, and I was really shy and being bullied and in a lot of toxic relationships, and I couldn't stand on my own, and I didn't believe in myself, and I was like, you know what? I feel like I would be grounded and I would be more stable if I became a martial artist. And I was like, I step my foot in the cage as a professional, I win. And it's been 10 years nonstop. Even throughout my pregnancy, I trained until the day I gave birth. I had a C-section, and I was already training 2 weeks after. And then I brought my baby to the gym with me every day, and I'd be there for like 3, 4 hours a day. Even during the pandemic and COVID, I became even more shaped and more athletic after COVID because I would just message all the other professional fighters and coaches. I'd be like, give me a challenge for today. And I'd be doing challenges like learning how to do a headstand, learning how to do a Superman punch, doing like a 20-minute plank. I got in a competition, this guy in Australia, we saw a video of me doing a 5-minute plank. So he uploaded a video of him doing a 10-minute plank. So I uploaded a video of me doing a 20-minute plank with 20 push-ups. And then he did 30 minutes, and I was like, you're better than me. Congratulations. I'm not even going to attempt that.
You're testing each other's limits. That was cool.
Yeah, but I love that because it gave me a really good motivation because it kind of sucked during the pandemic. And also, I went back to the gym in better shape than when I left.
No, that's great. So you got into fighting basically 10 years ago, first like getting into it professionally and everything. When was your first fight?
My first fight, I think, is in 2016. I went to Quebec City. We ended up fighting with MMA gloves for K1. And I got a TKO in the first round, but to be honest, I don't feel like my opponent was in good shape or like I don't feel like her coaches were even looking out for her. It was really
You just fed her
mismatched.
to the wolves.
It was really mismatched.
Being that that was your first fight, was there any like butterflies and like
Never. I'm never nervous to fight ever. The only thing the only thing that bothered me is dieting, is losing the weight. I don't like losing weight. So what I do is I try to be on weight pretty much at all times. So I've been on weight for like months. So I don't need to lose any weight. I'm like on weight right now.
How about like for us casuals when it comes to weight cuts? What do you think? What's your take on weight cuts?
Well, you need to know what your walking around weight is. What are you healthy at? The thing is, if you keep dieting or if you diet too fast or if you're not taking care of yourself, you just take away all your power. Also, you have less water in your brain to protect it, so you're more open to injury, concussion. I've seen a lot of pro fighters who, on weigh-in days, they're passing out, they're having liver damage. Even last night, Macy Barber, she wasn't able to do her title fight. She had like a seizure, or she's been having a lot of health problems. It's really important that you feel healthy as a fighter. If you don't feel healthy at a lower weight, you move up. You stay at your healthy weight.
Mhm. Do you think it's like sort of like a cheat? Like the people that are walking out super heavy and they're like,
It definitely could be. Like, if you're losing 15 pounds plus, yeah, what the fuck are you doing, man? The weight class is every 10 pounds. Why are you losing 15 to 20 pounds? You're not only endangering yourself, but you're basically being a weight bully.
true, that's the definition, the weight bully.
Yeah.
So you mentioned to me that one of your favorite fighters was Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah, of all the female fighters, is no doubt she is the best. Her and Nunes, they're like the best female fighters. I think she has a Ruby for every single position over 8. She's defended so many titles. She lost her title. She re-got it again. Also, she's been training all her life. Her technique is absolutely beautiful. It's like perfect.
It's like ballet.
It is exactly like ballet. It's the dance. Like me, especially when I started boxing, I started becoming more critical about how people are moving and punching in the body mechanics because I feel like as boxing, because it's more limited and you're not doing the kicks and the takedowns, you focus so much on proper punching, proper footwork, proper movements that that's what you aim for is that you want the perfect punch. You want the perfect slip and counter. It's like it is beautiful. It's dancing. It's ballet.
Like let's say for me, like because I've been saying I want to get into boxing. I just never like find the time to go for it. I did 2 classes. I hated it, not because like it wasn't for me. It's because I felt like the whole 2 hours I was there, I had an hour and a half of just cardio,
Yes,
and
and
we didn't even hit
that's
the bag.
and
And I
that's
was
the important
so
thing.
pissed off at the end. Like,
Exactly, because there's a big difference between like a real coach and then someone who's just holding past you and doing cardio. It's like a real coach is going to give you individual time. They're going to figure out how you are as a fighter, and they're going to make you your own better fighter. Nobody fights the same. Everybody has a different style. So I've been to 10 different gyms, and the best coach I ever had is mine that I have right now is Tarek, also with Coach Mike Impari. And we're a really solid team. So we have 2 excellent old school coaches with 12 very active fighters. So we have an extremely focused group, and that's how we've gotten so good so fast. So my boys, they just had a tournament this weekend. My buddy Joe, he just got his first knockout.
Congratulations to Joe.
Yes, congratulations, Joe. I'm so proud of you. He got bronze. It was a very close fight. Like I felt like he won. Maybe I'm biased, but it's a very, very close fight. But that's the thing about leaving it in the hands of the judges. If you don't get that knockout, if you don't make it extremely clear, then there's going to be a bunch of people who probably aren't even boxers judging it on, there could be a lot of favoritism involved also. Like for me, example, even, when we're watching a fight, especially like even UFC, you kind of already know who you want to win. So it's kind of like the same basis. And then our guy Yusuf, so he started us when he's 14. Last summer, he got the Bronze Gloves Championship, and he just got gold now in Open Quebec. So congratulations, Yusuf, also. Very proud of my boys.
Look, like you said, it's a very focused group.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, if it's too many people and you can't really like focus on your fighters, and you have a bunch of newbies that aren't on the same level, like if you're like you're saying, it's 12 active fighters that actually fighting
Constantly. Like every week.
That's the way it should
Yeah.
be. It's like, when there's a bunch of fighters that you see on YouTube that they have like a 50-0 record, and they're all super padded records that they've been fighting tomato cans, and some of them are just fake fights. Like they never even had the real fight before. And I think there was one guy that came into the UFC last year or the year before. He had one of these super padded records, and he was like, people were saying he's like the next big thing. He came in and he got washed. He got exposed. Like he's not a fighter. So that's like you said, when your coaches actually put you out there to test your skill set, you need that. If not, it's like, why are you even training at the gym for?
And it also reflects really good on the coach too. Like that shows how much knowledge that he's passing on to us. And that's also one thing that I don't particularly like about the professional sphere is there's going to be people with like 12-0 padded records. They want it. It wants to, it's more like how they're looking instead of how they really are. Or they're gonna pay someone from another country with a record that's like 22-12, and they're gonna pay this person to come fight them for a championship belt, and then they're gonna win that championship belt, and because they're local. But the thing is, like, did they really earn it?
I think a good example, it just came to me right now, Sage Northcutt. Remember Sage Northcutt?
I do remember him.
Such a pretty boy. He looked like the next poster boy for American fighters, and he just back-to-back losses. He had a few good wins before I think he got into the UFC, or he fed him some really like low-level guys. And then he just back-to-back losses. He disappeared for a few years. He stopped fighting at all completely. He went to ONE FC, and same thing happened in ONE FC. He just lost twice in a row, and he stopped fighting.
Well, it's a big difference when you're going just from the regional scene, like the local scene, amateur, the regional scene. But then when you get to UFC, like it's the best in the world. So it's not going to be easy for anybody. But you know what? Just to get into the UFC is such a major accomplishment for anybody. So you can't take that away from them neither.
True. You right now, you have a big fight coming up.
Yes.
Who are you fighting?
So I'm going to be fighting. So I'm sorry, I'm not from Quebec, so I'm probably going to butcher the name of this place. Saint Jean de Richelieu.
Probably better than I can say it.
Okay. I'm going out there to fight a really good fighter, Florence Bell. She's been fighting since she was a child. She's had about 26 fights. She's actually had 2 fights in her fight camp for me just last month. And I'm really excited to go against her. I had sparred her once before. She's a very good fighter. This is going to be a really great matchup. I was supposed to originally fight her on May 3rd. I ended up fighting Lishana, who is also an insanely great fighter. So it was my 4th boxing fight. It was her 40th, 5-time champion. She did the Olympic trials. She just went to France and got silver. A really nice girl, really good person. We had a really good fight, and so it was like a pleasure to share the ring with her. I always message my opponents before and after, and I say, hey, man, like I really respect and appreciate you coming here to fight with me. Without you, I'm nothing. I can't compete without you. And I'm a very good supporter of female fighters, and there's never any animosity, never from my side. I always go up to my fighters before and after. I give them a hug. I say, I'm really proud of you. You did a great job. Thank you so much. We should spar together.
I think that's like really what turns me off with some fights. When you see like there's just so much bad blood for no reason. Like, okay, look, when you're trying to sell a fight, you're trying to sell a fight. You're trying to put butts in seats, right? But when there's those guys that really like have no respect for their fellow fighter, and look, I'll throw it out. Look, McGregor Khabib, that fight right there, that was just too much racial stuff, religion, and all these things. I
It was
feel
it's
uncalled for.
unnecessary. It's
Uncalled for.
unnecessary.
Yeah, talking about people's dads and mothers, and don't get me wrong, everybody wanted to see that fight. They wanted to see the outcome, but it's like tone it down just a bit. You know what I mean? Keep it respectful.
Well, on the other side, it's like what they're actually doing is they're trying to get into their opponent's head. So and it's also as a sign of insecurity. So if you need to just say anything except for let's go and do our best and put on a show, it's because you don't believe in yourself or your coach doesn't believe with you. You're trying to use a mental tactic to get in their head, to try to get an edge, to make them emotional. Like the thing about fighting is like you fight the best when you're calm and focused. You're emotional, like, oh, I just want to kill this guy. You're going to make a mistake. You're going to get caught. So it's like, Cole, of course, is uncalled for, but what he's doing is he's trying to
He's
give
playing the
himself
mental game.
an
He's
advantage.
playing the mental game.
Yeah.
Well,
Also,
the same way he got Aldo in one shot, right?
yeah, he got him. He fucked with his head, and sometimes that works. Or Chael Sonnen.
Yeah, but Chael is funny with it. Chael, like Chael, like the ultimate badass, the gangster from California, whatever. He makes it funny. And when he got into Wanderlay's head, I remember when it was the tough season.
That's just the classic. That's
classic.
like the classic.
I can't let you get close.
I want to know.
But that was funny. Like, and what he said something that Wanderlei it got lost in translation, so that's why he was really pissed off at Chael. But he didn't say anything super nasty. You know what I mean? I found like he played that perfectly.
Yeah,
he still got in his
how
head.
to skate around
Exactly.
it without being like canceled.
Yeah. As far as you said, your upcoming opponent, you already sparred with her.
Yeah, I sparred with her once at the going to be was it ETB Extreme in Laval. It was like her first sparring after having a child. And we had a really great competitive sparring match, and I really liked her a lot. This was like last summer. So I already knew who she was, and I've been waiting to fight her because she's a good opponent, and I want to have good opponents. I want to have good fights. I already messaged her after the other fight. I'm like, hey, how are you doing? How did it go? Just checking in, and just like I said, no animosity. It's like I see it. There's like we're all on the same team, making each other better.
Is this going to be the first opponent that you fight that you've already sparred with, or
Yeah.
how do you feel about that though? That the fact that you already know a little bit about each other. Do you feel like you got to be extra careful since she knows how she fought you last time, or have you switched up your style? Or
No, everything's gonna be great. We already have a game plan. My girl Basma, she just had her fight last Saturday against her first fight against a girl with 16 fights. She did insanely good, but it was the same time that Florence was fighting another fighter. So my coaches were watching her. I know the whole game plan. We're already working on it. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm in perfect shape. I'm on weight. Zero stress.
as far as watching tape, like how important is it, do you think, to the game plan? You got to see the other person's fights and everything.
Oh, well, the thing is, most people are smart enough to not put their tape on for that very reason.
Okay. What do you mean though by that? Like you can't find tape on them? Like
No, because everybody knows that like you shouldn't post your fights.
okay.
Sometimes we do.
So when you're fighting regional
Sometimes
and
we
stuff like
do.
that, you got to keep it a secret. 'Cause
Yeah,
when you're on
like I
UFC,
said,
it's
you're
prime
just
time, right? So
you don't want to give them your neck.
yeah. I saw a fighter that fought on Samurai recently, Louis Sanadakis. He's
Yes, I know him.
he's a good friend of mine actually.
Yeah.
We used to live right next door to each other when we were younger, and we lost touch after like teenage years and everything. But I'm so happy to see him like doing well in his MMA career
No,
and
I'm
everything.
proud of him too. Like he was at TriStar when I first started going. Whenever he sparred me, he kicked my ass. He's good. He's good. One of my favorite fighters from TriStar was Arnold Allen. I'm always so proud of him too.
Arnold Allen.
You know Arnold Allen? He fought Max Holloway. He was undefeated, and then he got just defeated by Max Holloway last summer. And then he won again, but like he's an insane.
But he's a local boy.
No, he goes to TriStar,
Okay.
but he's from England
Oh wow, okay.
or London. He's from the UK.
Speaking of TriStar, when you started training at TriStar? Like, who did you bump into? Did you bump into GSP?
Yeah, that's a funny story actually. So the reason I originally chose TriStar was because I always thought that George St. Pierre was an exceptional athlete, and so I wanted to go there. And one day I saw him after sparring, and I was like, I really want to talk to him, but I don't want to bother him while he's in the gym. I went to like the shoe area, and I pretended to tie my shoes for like 15 minutes. Just until he came out. I was like, George St. Pierre, hi. I actually, my name's Felicia. I started training in martial arts because you really inspired me a lot. And I think you're an exceptional athlete, and I would like to be like you. And he had a really funny response. He was like, why does a pretty girl like you want to hurt people? And I was like, I don't want to hurt people. I just want to be my best self. And yeah, so that was and then I asked him to take a picture, and he took a picture of us doing a selfie together, and that was a fun moment.
No, GSP is known as being a very friendly guy. He's really out there for his fans. I got to meet him a few times. It's a dream to get him on the podcast. Hopefully, we can get him on the podcast soon. We have some ties to TriStar. We had Ayman Zahabi on the show recently.
Yeah, well, if you talk to him to talk to his brother.
Yeah, of course. There's always like talk to this guy to talk to that guy, and it'll happen in due time. Let destiny run its course.
Yeah, you can just put it out there. George St. Pierre will be on my show in the next 5 years.
No, we say it. This every so often we bring it up on the show just in case. Putting it out in the universe.
Exactly. That's how it works. The more you focus on, the more it expands.
In terms of how many fights do you have right now professionally
Oh, so I don't have any professional fights yet.
on the regional scene or?
So I was signed to go with Samurai just before the pandemic, but my coaches weren't particularly keen on certain matchups. We wanted to make sure that it was at my weight, not under, not over, and that I was going against an opponent with 0-0-0-1, nothing too much. And then I decided it was kind of taking a while, so I was like, you know what, let's go into boxing. I want to become a boxing champion. I want to have those good hands. I want to feel very comfortable in my striking. I'm already a pretty decent grappler and all that. I already did MMA amateur, but I really want to make sure that I'm setting myself up for the best success. So with kickboxing, I did, I guess they're not particularly legal because they're on the reserves. So it's not listed, but I did about 5 of those. I did an MMA fight. I did a jiu-jitsu tournament. I did a Muay Thai tournament, and I just had 4 boxing fights, and I'm about to have my 5th.
Okay. See, for casual like me, what doesn't make it a professional fight?
If you're not getting paid, money.
Money is the factor here.
Yes.
But the hurt is still real. The pain is still the same, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta what's it called? You gotta like make your bones. You gotta put in the work, blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, well, and you're gonna be with a higher caliber of fighters. Yes, there's gonna be a higher risk. Also, the weight loss. They're more strict with the weights. You get maybe like a 1 pound allowance, and amateur is usually like a 3 to 5 pound allowance. Also, it's not a big of deal to lose weight in amateurs, whereas in professional it does. And for that very reason of weight bullies, everybody is losing weight. Everybody is dehydrating. Like people are seeing like professional specialists, nutritionists, just for the weight cut. It's like very serious. So like if let's say I walk around at like 129, I'm definitely gonna go professionals 125. But when I fight now, I fight between 125 130. I have that extra weight to play with. I don't have to kill myself. Me being anything under 128, like my ribs are poking out and I'm very grumpy.
Weight cuts. Like we were talking about weight cuts. Ayman Zahabi had he what's it called? He's going into UFC 315 fighting Jose Aldo. Big name ahead of him.
Yeah.
He's coming off a 5-fight win streak. Ayman. He's set up to fight the King of Rio, and he gets the call that Aldo can't make weight. And he's already cutting serious weight, and he's still trying to hit the mark. Do you think that was like a tactic from Aldo from the beginning? He's like, you know what? I don't even want to do the weight.
I don't think so. I just think that with
9
age,
pounds. That was 9 pounds though.
That's rough, but I think it has to do more with his age. As you get older, your metabolism slows down. It gets a lot harder to lose weight. I think Aldo's in his 40s.
He's the same age as Ayman.
What?
They're both 38. Oh, but there's another thing, because I've been seeing some podcasts with Gilbert Burns recently.
I'm sorry, Aldo.
And Gilbert said that I grew up watching Aldo. And Aldo was always a few years older than me. He's like, then I think it was a few years back. He's like, we celebrated his 38th birthday, or his 37th birthday. He's like, and he's younger than me now. So he thinks there's like some tomfoolery going around with the ages.
I don't know.
Because apparently Brazilian fighters do that or something. South American fighters, they
It
lie
could
about their
be,
age.
and I feel bad for not knowing his age because Jose Aldo was my first favorite UFC fighter. Like those leg kicks were deadly, but I think that maybe he had like a few injuries or something. So I don't know if you noticed that he started like just boxing for a little bit, and he hasn't been kicking. And I feel like he just started kicking again. Like that was his most dangerous weapon, was those kicks.
Yeah. So look, I don't know about the age thing, but
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm just gonna call ignorance on that.
in term of age, they had the same statistical matchup for age. It was a very tough fight. That third round, like I was
There was some beautiful
at the
moments.
edge of my seat in
Oh,
the, 2 soccer kicks back to back,
oh God, that was
scrambling.
really
Oh my
good. And the
God.
ground and pound too.
Yeah,
Eamon
yeah.
did a great job with the ground and
Yeah,
pound. And that soccer kick, it was just like, it was a beautiful moment. Like even just for a retirement fight, like I'm still really proud of him. And I feel like that was a good time. And it wasn't just like he got completely demolished. Like he put up a fight and he had his beautiful moments. And I feel like that's a good time to put your gloves on, hand down the torch. But I'm still very proud of him and his performance. And Eamon did an excellent job too.
I think we got so lucky that night too, that we got to witness that type of fight in Montreal. It was Jose's last fight as well. Eamon went on to 6-fight win streak. I think he cracked the top 11 now. He's top 11. So it was like a lot of things happened at the end of that fight. It was a great thing to witness, and I hope we do get another UFC in Montreal.
I think what the issue is our taxes.
Probably
So
that.
the thing is, we have Quebec has the highest tax in all of Canada, and Canada has ridiculous tax to begin with. And the thing is, these fighters, when it comes to their purse, they get taxed. Nobody wants to lose 52% of their money.
And no, imagine the purse getting taxed. Now you think of Dana's pockets getting taxed, double taxed.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? Montreal's probably not the best place to keep coming back to.
Well, I mean, we just got to fix the politics because Montreal is a great place in terms of like the people, the energy, the fans. That's also another reason why you would issue selling your ticket. The tickets were very expensive.
Yeah. No, but I dropped the tickets price significantly. And that's still hard. Your favorite fight and your most stressful fight. Which one was it?
Of me personally,
Yeah.
or of watching?
Of you personally.
Okay, my favorite fight was my third boxing fight. The reason was we got to fight inside of a church in Granby, and the atmosphere was insane wild. And also we had a clean sweep. All 4 fighters, all 4 wins. It was very like to me, like what I enjoy about the fights most is like being with my team and like sharing that victory. I had a TKO in the first round. Yusuf had a TKO in the first round. Terry had a TKO in the first round, and Joe he went the distance, but he won also. And it was just a really great experience for all of us. I had a really good time. My opponent was taller than me, and I was just overwhelming her with shots. I think I hit her 75 times in 2 minutes with 3 counts.
David and
And then-
Goliath right there.
Yeah, and then the most stressful fight for me, I would say, would be my first loss. So this is after maybe like 6 months of training martial arts, and it was kind of mismatched. It was 1 week after my second fight, and I was just like, yeah, I'll take another one. But she was like 8 pounds heavier, but I took it anyways. But what I found out later is like she had 10 years of boxing experience, and it was so mismatched. And I just wasn't making good choices. Like I lost a point for taking her down in a kickboxing fight. I'm not supposed to do. Very frowned upon. And I got a point taken off also for pushing because she was so much taller. I was just getting frustrated and like I just wanted to go. So I was like, I was treating it like a street fight and not a properly intelligent fight. I just wanted to throw her around, throw her on the cage. I threw her on the floor. My coach is very disappointed in me. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh shit." So after that, it's very important to me that like that you're clean. You have a clean fighting style. Like you're not being sloppy. You want to represent that you know what you're doing. Like to me, it's like the fight is not even the important part. It's the training. The fight is your display of your training. It's like this is what I've been doing with all my time. This is what I had learned. Is like your dance and your performance to show where you are and how much work you've put into it. So it was like my least favorite and stressful fight was my second fight after I got the easy TKO on my first one. But it's at the same time, it's also one of my favorites because it gave me that motivation to like, I'm gonna spend 0 time feeling sorry for myself, and I was like, "These are what I need to work on and make sure I never lose that weight ever again."
I remember when we had Yoni Sherbatov on the show, and we talk about how important it is to listen to your coach. He's like, when I get in the cage and the door locks behind me, he's like, I can't even hear him. He's going, I don't hear my coach. The game plan goes out the window sometimes. I'm just doing me.
Yeah, because it's like when you're focused, it's hard to hear anything. So what I do is I make sure that like whenever there's a moment of separation or if you get a count, you always look at your coach. And even if they're not allowed to talk, they're gonna give you symbols. You just need to pay attention. In between rounds, that's when I absorb the information. But like when I'm fighting is like tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision. What was it? I think it was the Merab fight. No, it was Aljamain Sterling fight. Sean O'Malley's coach, when he was just yelling things at Sterling, and he made him shoot, and he got knocked out. Do coaches actually do this in the MMA world, or was that just like?
Well, I've never heard of that before, but that's why, like me, for example, when I'm sparring, I'm listening to the other person's coach too, and I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna do that? I'm gonna." What I like to do is do exactly what the other coach is saying to do. So, like you said, he goes, jab on top, go to the body. I'm gonna do jab on top, go to the body before my opponent even has the chance to do it, and I'm sure it kind of upsets them a little bit, but also, or you know what they're gonna do and you block for it. It's like, "Oh, you're gonna throw it right? Okay, I'm blocking my right. There you go. You can't get me." It's good to have code words. Sometimes my coach, he speaks in a different language.
Definitely, if he said saying something in Algerian to you,
Exactly.
well, Arabic, but so like we said, you have the next fight coming up. It's against an ex champion of some
Well,
sort.
she just won the Quebec Open in, I think December, January, but she was a Golden Glove champion when she was, like, 8 years old, and she's been very active. She had a child, and now she's coming back. She just had, 2 more fights since. She didn't win the first one, but the second one she won, but I think it was against her own teammate, but still she won, and it was against an opponent that, was my second fight also, and I had TKO'd her previously. So I'm just looking very forward to going out there and just putting on a show and just making sure that everyone has a good time, making my coach proud, and, just being really respectful to the fight community
I know
also.
we only look at like the fight that we have coming up. You gotta be focused on that. But what do you have in the future? Like, what's your plan for the future? I know you want to go pro. Like after this fight, what's the plan? Like, what's the path you're taking with the coaches?
Well, my coach wants me to do championship fights, so, I didn't do the Quebec Open this weekend because I keep going to the States for, like, an extended period of time. My coach wants me training nonstop 4 to 6 weeks before we even talk about a championship. So before my last fight, I went to the States for 10 days, but I was training. I went to, Tony Soto Loco Boxing Gym. I trained with him. I sparred with his girls. I was able to learn a few things. He's having his, championship fight, June 21st for, the bare knuckle fighting championship. It's gonna be a rematch. I felt like he won the first fight, but it's very close. The thing is, with fights that are close, like I said, if you don't get the knockout, if you don't make it extremely clear, it's not in your hands, it's in the judge's hands. But, I believe in him, and I really feel like he's gonna win this belt, in a couple of weeks.
So you were just out there training with Tony Soto. You're also training with Trucon. How do you
It's Truckin Carson. He's,
Truckin
the
Carson?
Carolina game dog. He's also a really good, MMA fighter. I believe he's 4-1. He, was a two-time welterweight championship at 170 pounds, for Fight For It. Uh, he came up here to Canada to fight Samurai. He ended up going against Adam Posner, who I believe is the number 1, like, welterweight right now, and he's looking to go into UFC. Very respectable opponent, has insanely great jiu-jitsu. Like, hats off to him and his coach. They work really hard. He's really young. He's 20 years old. I believe he's undefeated at 5-0. And, I think in September, there's gonna be another fight for him, but you're gonna probably see him on the UFC Contender Series or in the UFC very quickly. Truckin, he's looking to have a few more fights before he goes into UFC himself. He's a very good, like, he's a knockout
Yeah,
artist.
I was watching tape on Truckin because we said we were gonna have that sit down.
Mhm.
So I was just watching fight after fight. I've seen 1, 2 fights of him, but I haven't seen that many. So I was just scouring YouTube, trying to find as much as possible. And I think it was that BKFC fight. It was like a 1 minute knockout. No, it was the fastest knockout on BKFC, I think.
No, he didn't have the fastest knockout in BKFC, but
13 seconds. I don't know what it was.
oh, so this one was for his championship by belt at Fight for It, and I believe it was a 13-second
Yeah,
knockout.
13 seconds.
Yeah, and
And
that guy was good
when
too.
you look at the replay too, it's like you don't really see. Like I see the clip where he clipped him, but I'm like, how hard was it that he knocked him out that
It was a knee.
Yeah, I saw the knee, but I thought it was just like a grazed knee, but he got him good.
Well, I
Yeah.
think like he went for a takedown at the same time. The thing is, when you have two objects
Opposing
moving toward each
forces,
other,
yeah.
like, it's like a car crash. And also, what you don't see will knock you out. Just like you had a hard time seeing it, I'm sure his opponent had a hard time seeing it.
As a mother in MMA, how is it? What are the challenges that you face having to go to the gym, having to figure out where you're gonna put your son, right?
Well, I used to just bring him to the gym with me all the time. It was a lot easier when he was a baby, because then I didn't have to chase him around. But he's been coming to the gym with me since he was like 2 months old. And with me every day. Like my son learned how to crawl, how to walk, how to go up the stairs in the gym. And that's why he's so physically adept. Like my son is ripped. He takes off his shirt, he's like jacked. My son, he knows how to do a plank. He can do push-ups, sit-ups. He can assisted
What's the
chin-ups.
probability that he's gonna become an MMA fighter?
It all depends if he wants to be.
Okay.
So I do sparring with him. I train him how to fight. He spars with his father also. His father is Maxim Bacon, Mad Max. He was also a professional fighter. He was a 3-time bantamweight champion as an amateur, and he made his professional debut when I was 6 months pregnant. So I picked him for the genetics. He's a really good guy, extremely good fighter. He can kick my ass. I wouldn't be with anybody who couldn't. And he's a really amazing father. Like since my son was born, he dedicated 100% of his time to raising his child. And it's more like I'm the one who's like trying to do the martial arts and make the time to be with my son. But just teaching him everything. I like to bring him to the gym. I just taught him how to play catch. Yesterday, we do drawing together, and whenever I want to do training, I have him come do training with me. He does yoga, he does calisthenics, he does sparring, and he's getting good and he's really strong. Like I was trying to go easy on him the other day, and he just punched me in the solar plexus, and I was like, damn.
Oh wow. Um, as far as like MMA fighters and like, I find people have this perception that an MMA fighter is super violent guy, and they don't like how you just mentioned that he's such a good guy with his son, and he's like fully invested in raising his child. A lot of people like that don't know the sport of MMA or they don't know anything about fighting. They just assume everything is super violent and people are just mean guys and they don't have a heart. And it goes to show you, like when you actually sit down with somebody or you know somebody in that world, it's totally the opposite of what they believe.
Yeah, well, I noticed the most dangerous people are usually the most kind and easygoing. The thing is, they have nothing to prove, first of all. And also, they're ready to go if they need to. Um, I also find like martial arts is safe. Like, first of all, you have someone your own weight, you have a referee, you have rules. Nobody's gonna come up and stab you. It's like it's the safest way of experiencing and displaying your animal side.
Uh, as far as a modern day gladiator, what's your take on that?
Well, that's what it is modern day gladiator. First of all, we're performing for everybody. And the thing is, the gladiators back then is like they were treated almost like celebrities. They wouldn't have to work, they'd be fed, it's like it's entertainment, but also there's a lot of honor and respect in it. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody can fight. Not everybody can have the courage to step in the ring. And that's why I said anybody who gets in the UFC, whether they succeed greatly or not, this respect that you got there. It's respect that even as an amateur, it's respect that you even box. Not everybody can do that. People, they can be in a bar saying, "Oh, I would have hit him with this, I would have done that," but they know nothing about fighting, and they don't have the courage or the discipline to do it themselves.
Mhm. And it sounds like me when I'm at the bar and I'm watching UFC, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just like yelling at the TV
Yeah, me too. I'm guilty.
just because they're fucking up my parlay. You know what I mean? That's what it really is. But I have no say in what they do. I'm not a trained fighter. I do not know any of the techniques, so I should just shut my mouth some of the time.
It's easier said than done. Like you could be like, "Hey, why didn't you knee him in the face?" It's like, well, you know what? Even when I'm thinking in my head, like even when I have a game plan, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go for a knockout," and it's like it isn't there.
Mhm. Seriously, it's like that. Like the whole time you're just waiting for that moment, just waiting for that. Like as soon as he puts his guard down, going for that shot or whatever it may be.
I think the only person who've been successfully able to really do that would be Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, he would describe that it's an awareness thing. He would see lights. He'd see little bright lights where the openings are. And he's like, that's where I hit. Thing is, you have to have a good enough awareness and reflexes to be able to see it and be calm enough to see it too. You have to have a good emotional regulation. Because if you're like, oh, I want to kill somebody, like you're not taking the time to even see. You're just reacting.
Yeah. As far as giving, if you can give some advice to like some single mothers out there that are trying to get into MMA, or they're also like on the same path that you were, like, because you said your hubby, I don't know, your ex, or is it
Like my son's father?
yeah,
Or?
your son's father.
Yeah.
That's the best way to
My
say
baby
it.
daddy.
Your baby daddy. Yes, there you go. Your baby daddy. Obviously, like he's doing what he's doing. He's still present when he needs to be, right? But I think most of it falls on your shoulders.
No, actually, it's been falling on his shoulders more right now. Yeah, if anything, like he's been pulling the slack. Crazy. My son started school in Laval, and I wasn't able to get an apartment in Laval soon enough. I'm in Terrebonne, so I'm not able to get him to school early enough. So he has him on the weekdays, and I just visit there all the time. I give him as much nourishment and teaching as much as possible, and we have a really good relationship with each other, very good co-parenting, and my son is really blessed, and I'm blessed also to have a partner or like to raise my child with who's not only an exceptional father, but really helps me out whenever I need it.
No, that's an awesome support system to have too. Like you said, if he can take care of him on the weekdays and you're focused on what you're focusing on, especially now that you're active and you're fighting and you're training a lot, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I guess that last question doesn't make sense, but
No, shout out to Max. You're an amazing father. Thank
let's
you.
reword that last
Okay.
question.
Yeah.
Being a mother and being a fighter, like, how is that though?
Well, having a child motivates me more because I want to show my son that anything you want to do, you can do it. You just have to be consistent and you have to believe in yourself and you can't stop. And what I say to all the other mothers is, there's no right time to stop or start. You don't lose weight. You show up and you keep showing up and you never stop showing up. You go every single day. You go on the hard days. Those are the best days to go. When you don't want to go, you go and you will never regret it.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. It's the same way for the gym. It's like when you wake up and you're like, you know what, today I'm not really feeling it. You gotta pick yourself up from your bootstraps. Say, I'm going to the gym. I'm putting in the work today. 1 hour today brings you a little closer to the goal. You know what I mean? So you just have to maintain that discipline. You gotta be disciplined. You gotta keep going. You gotta keep putting in that work.
But on the flip side, you have to know when to recover. So this is something that me and a lot of fighters have struggled with: overtraining, getting yourself injured. Also, like getting sick of it can happen at moments. You need to take breaks. You need to know, like recovery is just as important as the training. So, for example, on Friday, I didn't go to the gym. I ended up going to the mountain and taking care of some other errands that were important to me. And it was important for that because I've been in so much pain. My body has been messed up. Like I lost like 2 inches of flexibility in my right leg just from being so sore. So just lots of stretching and having that time in nature, getting grounded, having some time for myself because running around, working, taking care of a child, going to the gym, taking care of a husky, which is like having a child times two. Like she's more work than my son. And like all that stuff, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And you need to take that time also to know when you need recovery, but without being lazy.
It's really important. You have to take care of yourself. You have to know how to rest. Like you said, mentally too. You gotta be one with nature. Go out there, walk in the
That's
park.
important too. Like if you're not spending any time in nature, you got to realize that's where we get a lot of our power from is from the earth. It's like you got to take your shoes off, you got to ground because the thing is, especially as a fighter, you have to be grounded. Yeah. You don't have like it's the power of the earth's core. That's how you get a knockout in my perception. I feel like if you can get in line with the earth's core, you can have the most power.
What are your hobbies though? Like when you don't want to fight, when you're not fighting, when you're not training, what do you like to do?
I like to do art. I like to make jewelry. I like to make music. But I told myself you have to focus on 3 things if you want to succeed in something. Like I have a lot of talents, but I don't want to. I want to focus on the thing that I have the least amount of time to do. So becoming a martial artist, there's a cap, there's a time limit, there's a physical limitation. I can make jewelry and music until I die, but I can't be a very active martial artist until I'm like 70. So I'm focusing on something. And I also want to, like, my main goal is to become a full-time coach. I want to be at the gym 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night. So I need to invest all my time and energy gaining as much skills and knowledge as possible so I can pass it on and like live a life I want to, which is being at the gym, getting paid for it.
I was gonna say like be an MMA fighter till 40. After that, become a rock star till like 50 something, and then you can make jewelry in your 70s.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. That's funny. That was my plan. I was like fighting, music, and then being craftsy. Like maybe I'll start crocheting.
And what kind of music are you into?
Well, my favorite artist growing up was Eminem. So I like to write rap poetry. I've actually created a few songs that I did when I was doing landscaping, and they're on SoundCloud. And I really like my music. It's always like poetry, and I feel like it should express yourself, but also having good rhythm. I don't know if you can tell I like to talk.
Wait, I heard you're gonna drop a 16 for us right now.
I'm not good at what do you call it, freestyling, but I can sit down and write a whole song in 5 minutes.
Drop me the link after. I want to hear a song.
Yeah, I will.
definitely want to
I'll
hear a
send you.
song.
I'll send you 2 songs right
Yeah,
after this.
perfect. I used to rap too, so
Oh, good. Yeah, well, that can be good because I even wrote a poem. Which I have my phone over here. I can read you my poem that I wrote after training. It took me 2 minutes to
you
write.
get the poem. Get the
Yeah.
poem. Just watch the stuff.
All right. So I did a good training last week, and I was just in a mood. So I did a hard training. I sat down before my shower, and I wrote this. I wrote this quick little poem to go with my training. A2 brute sees his last words before his death. The one and only true tyrant. He did it the best. If they turn against you, stab you in the back, decorate a forest with corpses, take it from Vlad. Never engage in battle stressed nor desperate. Launch your enemies from cliffs. Then you'll never miss. Take it from Emperor Tiberius.
Ooh, I like that. That's like some battle stuff right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Felicia O'Day,
Yes, sir.
Irish.
Yes.
We have Irish, and you also said your nickname is Felice. Is there like a Latino mix in there? Like,
No, well,
what's going on here?
I'm not. Well, I'm like maybe like 8% Portuguese. But my dad gave me that. My mom wanted to originally name me Heavenly, so I would have been Heavenly Day. And everyone talked her out of it. They're like, oh, they're gonna make fun of her. So my father picked Felicia, which I like because it means happiness and good luck. But I told my mom for Mother's Day I was gonna change my name legally to Felicia Heavenly if they live along. So O'Day, I'm gonna tell you a bit about my family history. So there is a castle, the O'Day Castle. It's called Desert O'Day. And my family had fought for it for over 200 years. And my favorite ancestor, O'Connor O'Day, he actually decapitated one of the nobles who came to try to steal our castle, and just beheaded him himself with an axe. And then they're outnumbered, and just they were able to hold on to it for over 2 centuries before they finally got taken over. And then we got it back. We bought it. We renovated it. The O'Days, they were like the first priests in that area. So very religious people and very experienced warriors. They would like to go up in trees and throw spears at people. So I come from and also a lot of scientists. I have a lot of family members who like went to go work in. So the O'Days, they're warriors, they're priests, and they're scientists, and I feel like I carry that with me also. And then but the thing is, I'm really mixed. So I'm like 55% Irish, and I'm also Polish and Swiss and German and native. I got a little bit of Portuguese in there, and like 0.02% Mongolian. Yeah, we went all the way from the bottom all the way around. We did the whole trip. Started from Asia. We just kept breeding with more people, and then coming over here.
That's a crazy mix right there. And the family history of O'Day.
Yeah, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of that. My dream bucket list. I want to go to Ireland. I want to see my castle.
You haven't been to Ireland yet?
I haven't been to Europe. I've just been in the States and Canada. I've been to Cuba and Mexico. But I definitely want to go to Ireland. Ireland is having a lot of issues right now. I don't know if you noticed.
I've been seeing.
Yes, Conor McGregor wants to run for president.
Conor McGregor wants to run for president. I think there's like this big backlash against immigration and
Yeah,
stuff
but
like
the
that.
thing is, the Irish people, they're not afraid to fight. They're in the streets. They're doing social justice. They're taking care of their people. They're not cowards. You start threatening children online, they're at your house. They're in the streets. They'll kick your ass.
I remember the IRA and everything.
Yeah,
Come
like
on.
Ireland has been fighting for its independence since it's ever been. and they're still Ireland. Like Ireland fights so much that they just fight against each other, and nobody just.
I think that's also like one thing that I really like about Ireland. It's like when you have all these other countries being like so tight-lipped and not saying anything about what's going on in the world right now, and you have Ireland, like they're very vocal and they're free Palestine.
But
Just
but
put it
you'll
that way, you know?
notice it's not on the news.
No, they don't care. Like they just
There's no agenda.
Mhm.
Nobody's profiting.
Yeah. But like once again, shout out to the Irish people out there because you guys are warriors. You know what persecution is. You know what being basically slaves in your own homeland
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Like,
Well, that's the thing is people forget that is like the Irish are like one of the first slaves.
mhm. Indentured slaves. Remember that. They used to get brought over and they used to work for nothing. And
And
us,
you don't complain.
and us Greek people, we have a good bond with the Irish because of that. The same thing. We had like a similar situation with the Ottoman Empire.
Oh yeah, I actually
yeah.
just learned all about that. Very
Exactly.
fascinating
Yeah.
stuff.
So shout out to Ireland out there. We love you.
Just never stop fighting. Never stop fighting. Always fight for you believe in. Fight for your family. Fight for your country. Fight for your people. Don't just be a doormat. The thing is, like, I rather lose my life fighting for what I believe in and protecting my family than to do nothing at all. Ever.
On a side note, we're gonna wrap it up, guys. We're getting to that time of the day. I want to ask you like a few more things, and then we're gonna wrap it up with a drop a gem.
Okay.
UFC right now. Who is your top 5?
Okay. Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
Nate Diaz.
But you can't even say Conor McGregor hasn't fought in how long?
Doesn't matter. He's just my favorite. He's always been my favorite.
Okay, past and present. I'll give you that. Go
Yeah, it
ahead.
just like, he changed the game, and I don't particularly agree with how he's taking care of himself, and like he's having some mental problems. But I mean, money, drugs, a lot of pressure. It happens to a lot of people. Not in the UFC, but I gotta say Tyson.
Tyson
Fury. He's like the one who went against Deontay Wilder
yeah,
like 3
Gypsy
times.
King.
And you saw when he fall down and he just
It
get
came out
up
like
like
the
that moment,
Undertaker.
just like
It's like the Undertaker.
yeah. And he also had like a lot of problems too after he became champion. Like he was just depressed because he's like, what next? What else? He gained like 100 pounds. He was doing a lot of drugs. But the thing I really appreciate about him the most and respect is he just woke up one day and then he slowly but surely lost all that weight. He came back and he won.
No, you're right.
Very proud of him. Valentina is another one of the great ones. Jose Aldo was my first favorite UFC fighter, and he'll always have a place in my heart. Okay, so I said Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, Tyson Fury there, but he is. Mike Tyson is also one of my all-time favorite fighters, and I'm just so proud of him because, like, the things that he went through, and especially losing his coach and everything, and he, like, refound himself again, man. He's a really nice guy.
Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson. Yeah, Mike Tyson. Like, that's another thing why I like about fighters. It's not always about when you're winning or losing. It's like who you are as a person or what you've accomplished or what you've gone through. Like, even Conor McGregor, like, he started from the bottom and we're here. Like, you got to respect the hustle.
Have you been seeing what's happening with BJ Penn lately?
Yeah, and it's really sad. But, like, that's another thing I go back to.
Is that like, CTE? That you don't know what your family's faces look like?
Well, I mean, it is a mental illness where it's called, like, imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, where you feel like somebody is murdered or kidnapped and replaced by other people. That is a very real mental illness that people have. It's in like the same category as DID, which is identity disorder. Also schizophrenia, paranoid delusions. It can happen to anybody, and taking brain damage and drugs.
In the world today, people do not look after their family. Like in the West, at least. In the West, as soon as your parents get to a certain age, you throw them in a retirement home.
And whose fault is that? It's the government and the social construct. We used to live together, like I guess your culture do, generations. You have everyone in the same house. Everybody's together. It's good financially. It's good emotionally. Now it's like, you're 18, get the fuck out the house. I want my privacy. It's selfish.
Yeah. My grandmother's 90 years old. Over 90 years old. She's still at the house downstairs.
Dude, we can't even afford to live. You need like a bunch of roommates. It's like even people in their 30s, they're just living with their parents. It's like the cost of living, the taxes. I was like, dude, like Canada is one of the most broke countries right now. We have the highest tax. We can't afford homes. We can't afford food. And they destroyed the nuclear family. Now then there was nobody staying home. Both parents are working. Who's raising your child? Some random person with 6 other children is like, that's their new mommy or daddy. It's like you don't even know who your child's becoming anymore. Like when I had my kid, I stayed with him. Well, I still have my kid, but before he started school, I stayed home with him every single day until he started going to school. I had that 5 years with him. I taught my son. That's why he's so intelligent and so adept is like I spent that time with him. I struggled a little bit not being able to work as much, but that's why like everything that I gave him and put into him, setting up for life. I was like, I already brought him to school knowing more than he's gonna know until grade 5. My son speaks 2 languages. He's extremely athletic. He understands how the body works, like and everything. Like he knows how to count to 70. He knows simple math. It's like my mom used to get upset, but I'd be like, I wouldn't even let him eat until he did math. And I was like, listen, you guys used to hit us. If I'm just making him do math equations to have his dinner, if that's the extent of my child abuse, you're gonna have to deal with it. But now my kid is
Mm. No, you've been doing good. Like I think you've shared a clip with me, or you posted it on your Facebook, on your Instagram, and you had the little one. He was like counting. He was speaking in French and everything. And I'm like, how old is he?
yeah. Well, he's about to have his 6th birthday in July 10th.
No, but he looks super like advanced for his age.
He
Yeah.
really is. He really is. That's the thing. Good genetics.
hmm Well, I think we're gonna have to start wrapping up the show.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate
We
you
had
having
so
me on.
many great moments. We had so many. We had a couple of bad moments too that I'm gonna cut out of
That's all
the
good.
podcast. But overall, we had a great episode. Right now, this is something that we do. I hand you this gem. It's called dropping a gem. You got to give a piece of advice to the people out there. It could be for MMA. It could be for motherhood. It could be for anything. Anything that you have in your brain right now, drop it.
Okay. So, the thing is, you have to think about your mentality, and a lot of times, our mentality goes out the window. We have a lot of negative thoughts. I think what really helps me in my success in my life is to have a mantra. I've had the same mantra since I was maybe like 18 years old. I'm 31 now, and I will tell you my mantra. I say it. I try to say it as much as I can every day, and it always realigns me. My mantra is I pray to be my best self physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, to let go of all things that no longer serve me, to remain disciplined on the path of the impeccable warrior, and to love myself, my family, God, and the planet Earth unconditionally. Namaste. So much love.
I love that. Guys, thank you for watching another episode of the Hustle Podcast. We out. But before we out, Felicia, tell them where to find you on Instagram if you want them to find you for any reason.
My handle is Stalker, Stalker, point, Marshall, Martial, .arts, ARTS. You'll be able to find me. There'll be a photo with me with my amazing child on my shoulders.
If you got any fight opportunities with some bucks on the line, hit her up.
Yes, sir.
We out.
Welcome everybody. Y'all ready for this? The Hustle. My name is Steve Armopoulos, and these are my co-hosts. I'm Talia. And I'm Felicia. You may have heard me on radio. You may have never heard of me at all, but that's okay.
Y'all gon' learn today. Your whole life was a struggle, had to make it out the jungle. This is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle. Under pressure, never break a fold. Keep chasing your goals until you blow. Now we welcome to the hustle.
Get well introduced to all three of us.